I'm coming. I'm coming, everybody. It's a new setup. Takes me a second. Oh, I brought the wrong drink. Hello. Good evening. Are we doing this thing? Is it working? Not working yet. Yeah. Oh, it is working. There we go. Nice. Hi. Hi. I'm in a new place. Everything's a little different. Good evening. Welcome back to the Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. Everything's a little different. It's been a while since we've been here. I've been on a road trip. If you were here last time, you know that I was going on a East Coast road trip, and you know why. You know, I was all emotional about it and everything. This time, hopefully we'll keep the emotions at bay. And our still photographer, Manuel Carrillo, is in studio today, too. We've got a lot to talk about. I was gone for a month, and Goonies. I'm really excited about the Goonies. We're going to be talking a lot about the Goonies. If you remember the road trip, I was supposed to come back Route 66. Flag on the play. Decided to call an audible. Yellow Car and I were invited back up to Astoria, Oregon, where they shot Goonies. And it's a place that we fell in love with when we did our grand tour back in October, November, December. It was all of those months. And anyway, it was great. So we made a lot of new friends, had an exceptionally good time, and we're going to talk all about it tonight with our friend Brandon, who is all the way up in Canada. Let's see if he's actually with us already. He is here. Can you hear me, buddy?
I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. How's the echo?
It's great. It's manageable.
You're awesome, man. Thanks for being a good sport. Thanks for doing the show tonight. Thanks for giving me like a really awesome, unexpected experience up in Astoria. I knew that I was going to have a good time. Like, we're going to go celebrate one of my favorite movies from my childhood. Had a great time last time. Sort of knew it was going to be good, but all of the unexpected made it great. So Brandon is a new friend. Apparently, we've been connected a little bit over the years, but never actually met.
Yep.
And we're going to be telling those stories. And I think, not to bury the lead, but the biggest thing, most exciting for me, was that we were included in a very small group of people who got to see inside the newly restored, refurbished Goonies House in Astoria, Oregon. So we're going to be telling you all about that, too. And that's what's going on. Also, you know, this guy, Brandon, collects movie cars. He collects really kind of everything, I think, and he's got a few interesting builds that we'll probably touch on as well, Goonies related and otherwise, if you feel like it. But otherwise, it's just kind of going to be a hangout. I didn't even get to do a blue card because I've been so busy reorganizing the studio. And so it's a wing it. It's another wing it show. Hopefully the audio is good. We've got comments going on YouTube and Instagram. No, YouTube and Facebook. And producer Ariel with the purple hair will be here shortly to look at some of those. In the meantime, what do we have here? Birds and bees don't... Oh, hello from the 101. That's hilarious. Speaking of Ariel, very funny. Very funny. Danny Botkin, welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Speaking of DeLorean, oh, that's funny. So you probably know Danny Botkin too, then?
The name sounds familiar. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he runs DeLorean here in California.
Okay. Cool.
And has for a long, long time. I guess I don't know if he's the shop manager or whatever. The Winds own and run DeLorean, obviously, Cameron and Steve.
Yeah.
But Danny runs the LA shop and has been a longtime friend to us, and we couldn't have built our time machines without him. So
yeah,
major love. I mean, you've got a time machine. You got multiple. Oh God, I don't know where to start, man, because you've got multiple DeLoreans. You've got Johnny Carson's old DeLorean, which is super crazy to me. Where should we start? With Goonies? I guess Goonies Weekend.
Yeah, I think Goonies is probably the most exciting thing. We can get into BC DeLorean and the movie car stuff later because, like you mentioned, we do have some connections through that. But I think, I don't know, I feel like Astoria, we need to talk about it. I need to get it off my chest.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I've got a bag of things under my desk that I picked up there that I've left in the bag because I didn't want to start enjoying them until we looked at them on the show. So I'm sure you probably did the same thing with your collectibles.
Yeah. See, I mean, yeah, I think we should just dive into Astoria. That's it's kind of magical. I don't know how to preface the story, but
Had you been before?
I had been to Astoria on 2 separate occasions. One was when I took a road trip down to Disneyland for my honeymoon.
Oh,
and wow. I'm a big like film locations nerd.
Yeah.
I love visiting film locations. So we actually went to Aberdeen because I wanted to see Kurt Cobain's childhood home, and I wanted to see the bridge that inspired underneath the bridge.
Wow.
But when you go that far and you want to take the coast, it takes you right through Astoria. So it was like, okay, no brainer. Like, of course I'm going to visit Astoria and see some Kindergarten Cop and some Goonies locations. But
you're a little bit younger than me, right? A little bit?
I'm 32, yeah.
You're quite a bit younger than me. Why is Goonies even special to you?
Well, I mean, movies are really important to me. Like, the wall behind me is nothing but movies. And ever since I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13 years old, like that has been my first love is movies. I just became enamored with them. I always say, like, both my grandparents had lots of movies. So whenever you'd go visit grandma and grandpa, I'd watch movies. Our family was a buy movies family. Like, we also had a large movie collection in our house growing up, and it's just grown and grown. So movies don't necessarily, like, they're not a specific time frame to my age, if that makes sense, right?
Gotcha.
It's just like, oh, this was an important movie in 1985, or like, 1985 in general is Back to the Future, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Goonies, just to name some, like a few. And those are some of the most important movies to me. So
Gotcha.
it's just movies in general, and Goonies happens to be a great movie.
I totally agree. I just, I'm a little bit older than you, so I was the age that the kids are, maybe a little younger. I was probably 7, I think, when the movie came out. And the kids are probably 13 or something like that. Yeah. But I was a young kid who was like, oh, I fantasized about having that kind of adventure. You probably were already past that, I would imagine.
I don't know. It's universal. It's a feeling. It's an attitude. It's having friends. And, growing up in Canada, we have forests that we go and explore with our friends. We go and we play pretend, and I am of the era technically before the internet, right? So I still did have imagination, and I played outside.
Our purple-headed producer arriving.
Oh. So yeah, I don't know. Goonies is it's a group of friends exploring, which is timeless, really.
Yeah, very relatable. Also, I forgot that you're right. You not only is the topography very similar in Canada as the Pacific Northwest, but you and I kind of hit it off because you do sort of celebrate a generation previous to you. You do sort of know and understand things that maybe someone else your age might not be interested in. So I forgot to factor that part in.
Yeah. To be honest, most of my friends are either late 40s, early 50s.
Because that's the group you relate to, right?
Yes, yeah. And I do have friends my own age, obviously. I have friends my own age. But my core group of friends are, 2 of them are in their 50s and 1 is late 40s. And those are my best friends.
Yeah, I always related to the older kids too, or even the adults, really. My friends' parents. Like, you'd go to your friend's house, but then like for a party or something, but all the kids are downstairs watching a movie, and I'd be like upstairs in the kitchen talking to the parents.
You know what I do notice, though, in terms of talking about movies, is being friends with someone who's 20 years my senior. That person has had 20 extra years to see so many classic films from when they were growing up.
Right.
Whereas I feel like sometimes I'm playing catch up. So there's certain like staples that have they played on TV all the time, and I just had never seen them.
Hey, you guys!
We're trying new things. Manuel and Ariel are here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm kicking things, so I have arrived.
And Mitch is in the kitchen with Weirdoughs Pizza. Anytime somebody wants to bring that out, I'll take a slice.
I mean, I'm standing.
Sorry, Brandon. Oh, perfect. Sounds good. Sorry, Brandon. Lot going on in the new studio.
Yeah, I get it.
And we'll let Ariel know that we had to mute her mic tonight. It has nothing to do with her. It's because of our audio interface with our Canada here, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to think we've muted Ariel. That's not possible, one. And then also I don't want to do that. Okay. Sorry, buddy. Back to you. So much going on. Woo!
Yeah, there's just certain movies that I actually haven't seen that are staples to people that were alive for 20 years before I was born.
Oh boy, thank you. This is exciting. I'm sorry that you can't enjoy some of this with us. I really wish you were here.
I wish I had a pizza. There's pizza in my fridge. That would have been so great if I pulled up a white paper plate.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for sending me pizza, Jay.
You were, I mean, we'll get to everything. I'm sorry we're bouncing around and the audience is like, this is impossible to follow. You were actually, and I don't know if you heard me, but you're muted. So no, we can't hear you tonight only because of the Canada interface. But that's the only reason. We can see you.
Canada interface.
Oh, by the way, we can hear you through all of it.
I was doing a thing.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think hearing
I can
you
hear you from there, too.
You may try.
And Mitch is hiding over there. Mitch, you can be anywhere you want, buddy. If you want to sit in here with me, you're welcome to. Whatever you want to do. Oh, he is. He really is. This is amazing.
There he is.
He brought the pizza.
Sat on his lap.
He brought the...
I am about this pizza.
What's up, man?
Just had a slice of pepperoni. Good stuff.
How was it?
I'm glad you turned me on to that pizza.
This is Weirdoughs, everybody. Shout out to Weirdoughs
Shout out to Weirdos.
and Mitch for going to get it.
Shout out to Mitch.
This is your first time being here, and I mean, nobody can hear you, by the way, because the mics are off. But your first time being here in the place at our house, everything, right?
Yes.
You're sitting pretty much right where Nicole used to sit.
Oh.
There's a star on the floor
Oh,
where
beautiful.
we marked her spot. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Told everybody I'm not going to cry. I don't want to.
Okay, fine. Don't cry.
Wow, this really looks like another place, doesn't it?
It does.
It's kind of crazy.
Pictures are different too.
Okay, Brandon. God, buddy. All right, Mitch is
It's
going to
okay.
sit here silently while I enjoy pizza and listen to you.
Next time I'll be in studio, I promise.
Yeah, I cut it off, but you were in the USA Today, weren't you?
I was in Washington. I drove down to get some things for another project that we're working on.
Huh? Is it a secret?
No, it's just it's Goonies related.
All right, well, you take it away. I'm going to shut up and enjoy this pizza.
What were we talking about?
Everything
yeah.
and nothing.
Yeah. So I feel like sometimes I'm playing catch up with movies. You want to know what I watched for the very first time last night?
Oh, yes. Yes, because I've got one, too. So you go first.
Okay. This is a big one. This is a huge blind spot, and I had never actually seen the entire thing.
I think I have you beat, but let's hear it.
Oh, it's Harrison Ford's The Fugitive.
Oh, no way!
Watch that.
Mm-hmm. First of
Yeah,
all, one of the best freaking movies I know of today.
Holy
It's one of my
smokes.
favorite movies of all time.
So good.
Yeah, it was a total ride, high energy, fast paced, like so enjoyable from start to end. Yeah, but
It's
it's,
a
stuff
stupid-
like that.
It's a stupid question
It-
based on the collection behind you. I'm assuming you got the big screen, the good sound, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I have a sound bar and a 4K TV. Nothing like.
But what I was taken
ahead.
with was this movie came out in, what did we look it up, 1992, something like that? We looked it up. It held up, in my opinion, for special effects, story, directing, every single thing about it.
Fucking train scene. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
I
unreal.
had to tell her about the train being real. They really wrecked a train. Real
Yeah.
train, and it's still there to this day. Anyway, okay, go ahead. The Fugitive. What did you
yeah.
think? Hope you liked it. After all
Oh,
that.
I loved it so much. 5 stars on Letterboxd, man. 5 stars and a heart.
So I like that movie so much that I will happily watch. Cameras aren't in the same place. I'm sorry. I keep pushing the wrong buttons. Keep cutting to Mitch over here. Hey, Mitch, what's going on? I love The Fugitive so much that I will happily watch U.S. Marshals over and over again. And that is not the best movie in the world. I know. I love it because it's Tommy Lee Jones and the rest of the U.S. Marshal group just following another fugitive. It doesn't have Harrison Ford. It doesn't have all that great story with the one-armed man and his wife.
I'll have to look for that. I haven't seen that either. So
Wesley Snipes is the fugitive in that one.
Okay.
And it's not horrible. It's just, it's hard to hold up to that first one, to stand up to that first one. Wow, that's so great. Okay, can I tell you mine? You're not going to believe it. You're really not going to believe it. And I'm not going to tell you the whole long... I bored everybody at lunch the other day with the whole long story. But for the first time ever, all the way through, I have now seen both Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
Return of the Jedi is queued up to watch. But here is the caveat. Like every other time I've tried... Here, I better have you in here for your response because I'm realizing the things I'm saying are pretty polarizing, especially to nerd community. I have grown up not liking Star Wars. I'm of the age where I should have seen Star Wars. I should have enjoyed Star Wars. I should be a Star Wars guy, especially... I am a nerd. Hello. Goonies Weekend. I'm sitting in a talk show set in my dining room. Star Wars should be my jam. I didn't pick it up as a kid, so my first real true exposure to it was in the 90s when George Lucas put out the special edition. You're already nodding your head. Putting out the special editions. This was not for me. I found it completely, it was unpalatable. Unpalatable. And it felt dishonest in a weird way. I couldn't find anything to relate to in it because it was very distracting. It's supposed to be this movie from 1977, but it doesn't look like movies from 1997. It's got CGI in it and a bunch of other crap that wasn't around. So, and also what got me into this was I was just watching the ILM doc series, the Light and Magic.
So much, yeah.
So good. So good. It's so good it made me a Star Wars fan, right? So I'm watching it, and then I'm hearing all these stories of John Dykstra and the things that they were doing to save time and money on the first Star Wars. They didn't have the time to do this effect shot with the Millennium Falcon, so they couldn't get it in the right thing, so they just took a Polaroid of the Millennium Falcon, cut the Polaroid out, and took a shot of the Polaroid, and that's in the movie when it goes to warp space.
Yeah.
So then I go to watch, because I got all hyped up about it, I go, all right, I'm going to force myself to watch Star Wars. And I put it on, because I bought it ages ago on Apple TV. And it's the same thing. Every time it comes on, every single time, New Hope, Episode 4, I turn it off. I can't take it. It's just, I don't relate to it. And I push myself past, and the CGI things were bothering me. And then I got to the scene that I was looking for with the Polaroid. And it wasn't the same. They had CGI'd some new scene.
Yeah.
The things the guys were talking about wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
So then I started doing some research and asking my friends, saying, where are the original Star Wars? How can I see the original Star Wars? The ones that all my friends saw. The ones that my family said, you got to see this movie. And they said DVD was the latest you could get it. Because that's when the special edition came out, and then they had both versions. Oh, look at this. He's got everything right here.
I was going to say VHS.
Yeah, I was thinking.
So that's what I thought, too. They said DVD, but I said that's not good. We're on this 4K kick these days. I mean, the quality, it just didn't. So I poked around on the internet and found out that apparently Samini, you're already nodding your head. He knows.
Yeah, I have it. I have them all up there.
Oh, amazing. So he knows what I'm talking about. So there's some industry guys, some people like myself and like Brandon here, took it upon themselves to do what Lucasfilms, George Lucas, and other people wouldn't do, which is to take an actual film print of Star Wars and scan it at 4K.
Wow.
Frame by frame, one frame at a time. Exactly. It's a lot of work. But you're watching the original. It still has the cigarette burns in it up in the corners. And it was... I can't describe to you how somebody who just vehemently told you how much I don't like Star Wars, how much I enjoyed my viewing experience of these old movies. They were beautiful. The art that was in them, I don't care if they didn't nail what George Lucas was going for. It's what an entire generation based their love of this thing on. Yeah. And I got it. For the first time in my life, at 47 years old, I got what all my friends loved about Star Wars. It's romantic. It's There's a lot of beautiful stuff. The Force, that whole thing is beautiful. Love that. The interconnectivity of the universe, that's awesome. The good versus evil, the Empire. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that felt kind of poignant. Daddy issues, right? A lot of Freud stuff. Anyway, loved it. I'm a fan, but I think that what needs to happen before anything else in the world of Star Wars with all these other spin-offs and reboots and TV show versions and all this other stuff, George Lucas, Lucasfilm, somebody needs to officially re-release the official theatrical 1977, 1980, and 1983 releases of Star Wars. When we watch the thing I told you, it pisses me off every time, Episode 4, New Hope, that was never there. They didn't know there was going to be 9 of them and a million franchises. It was just Star Wars. Yeah. So when you turn it on, it's just Star Wars, and then the preamble, long time ago, and whatever the heck. Bro,
welcome to the
changed
club,
my
Jay.
life. Yep. 7 minutes
Welcome
on why Jay is living in 2025 for the first time in his life.
And here's where I'll
That
give some YouTube comments.
I know. Do you have some?
Yeah, I do. So Kit Marshall says, "Hey, Laser Lips, your mama was a snowblower. Don't know what that's about. Maybe
Well,
support it, maybe I don't."
Brandon and I know exactly what that is, and we can probably tell you. But I don't know if you can hear Ariel.
Is that
I can. That was Kip.
It was. Okay, so Ariel was reading. That's you want to tell them what movie that's from?
Is that from Spaceballs?
No, but that's a good guess.
They're doing number 2 of that. Did you hear about that?
We'll
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
coming
that
out.
too.
Okay.
It's from Short Circuit.
Oh my god!
But I didn't know that until watching the 2 of those the other day as well. After I just
haven't seen them in so long.
Brandon and I were just at the Short Circuit house because our friend Rich owned it. So.
Well, we gotta talk about that too.
Oh gosh.
David-
I know. We haven't even gotten into it yet.
I know. 2 more, don't worry. We got a welcome back from David Mangrum, and Digital Zero says Laserdisc Gold.
Oh yeah, and we went Laserdisc shopping with Adam the Woo and Justin Scard. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we had so much fun. All right, Brandon, take it
Yeah.
away. I'm gonna chew some pizza.
Well, I just on quickly on the Star Wars, you obsessing over the original theatrical versions of Star Wars is exactly what a large majority of fans have been obsessed with. There is despecialized versions that you can find online. I actually have burned Blu-ray copies of the despecialized editions. There's I have some illegal downloads of new 4K versions of those original theatricals. So it does exist out there in high quality.
Well, so that's what that's what I was saying. So the scans that I got, I'll just tell everybody because in my opinion, since you can't buy them anywhere and most of us already own Star Wars, first of all, go buy Star Wars, okay? Let's get that get it out of the way. Give George Lucas
It's easy.
$60
You can
or
find
whatever.
it
Go
everywhere.
buy Star Wars. Once you've done that and you've given the studio their money, go to a torrent site and do what you have to do in order to see these and download. They're super easiest thing to search for. 4K 77, that's a search.
Yes.
4K 80, that's a search.
yeah.
4K 83, that's a search.
Those are the
Those are your
exact
3
versions I
movies.
have.
Go find them, download them. It's amazing.
Yeah, you'll never see it the same way again. In fact, I actually only watch those versions when I watch the original trilogy.
Right.
And I get so blind to it that when Return of the Jedi got re-released in theaters, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to see Yub Nub in the theater. And right before it happened, I went, oh yeah, Yub Nub. Sorry, Jay, this is spoiling it for you. Yub Nub is not in the new version of the digital version of Star Wars. It's only in the original.
So he
And
goes
when
so
you
far as to erase characters even?
That's wild.
This is not a character. This is a song, Jay.
Oh, excuse me. I haven't seen the 3rd one yet, the
I
6th
know.
one yet.
But wait until you experience Yub Nub. It's going to change your life.
Okay.
Where do we go from Yub Nub? Right?
I don't know.
Where do we go from Yub Nub?
I'm going to go to Mitch over here. Mitch is
I love this
so great. It's so great.
You're just like in the nice little corner.
I'm in the
That
pocket.
was great.
Well, should we? I think you were in Astoria before I was, right?
Yeah, I got there on the 4th. I thought I was going to be there on the 6th. Real quick on the road trip recap, I was supposed to go with my friend Steve Straley. We were all excited about that. He bought the Mini. We were going to take both cars across the country. On Saturday before we left, all of a sudden Steve couldn't go, so we're supposed to leave Monday morning. So I left alone in Yellow Car on Monday morning, had a great trip. We'll talk about all that in another show. Nicole's mom graduated, beautiful, emotional. Everything was really fantastic. Because the route changed coming back for this new plan, I then had to reconfigure, and I needed to be there for the 6th. And on pretty much as late as you possibly could imagine in the timeline, I found out I then needed to be there on the 4th because of the TV show that they were doing as well. There's a docuseries being done on the restoration of the Goonies House. And so I had to bust across the country in 3 days, doing like 1,000 miles a day almost, and got there on the 4th, I think. Does that jive with you? Because did we hang out the next? I don't remember. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, let me just look at my calendar. I think we may have got there on the 4th too.
Okay. I know that the first night we hung out at the Short
5th.
Circuit House, hence the whatever he said, the bucket of bolts, and your mother was a snowblower. By the way, very interesting to stay in a famous movie house. Our friend Rich owns it, so it's not weird for him at all. But for me staying there, it's weird because like you wake up and you look out the window and there's people taking pictures of the house, taking pictures of the yellow car in front of the house and whatever else. And then for the rest of the week in Astoria, everyone kept saying, "Oh, you're the guy who owns the Short Circuit House, right? Oh, but we saw your car in front of it. Oh, it must be you." No, whatever. So it's neat to do that. We spent the evening there. Adam the Woo came over, got to meet him, and thank you so much. I love this new setup. It's like the wait service is it's amazing.
I'm sure you tip.
Exactly. Oh my, yes, you can. You've already got the job. It's not appropriate.
My corner.
You're dressed so dark, I don't even know if they could see
I'm
you.
always dressed so dark. I always wear black. God.
Anyway, Brandon, you are the most patient saint in the history of this show. Thank you. Adam the Woo came over, and we just hung out. I think we ended up watching parts of Short Circuit. Robbie Retro was there. Great to meet him. So that's part of it, buddy. It already started weird because I thought I was just going to see my friends, and I did love the Goonies movie, but I've already seen all these locations, so I didn't know what I was going to get out of this trip other than supporting a franchise I love and seeing all my friends and going back to a place I wanted to visit. But it seemed like the moment I got there, all these unexpected things started happening. Adam the Woo and Robbie Retro showed up. Like I said, we started watching the Short Circuit movie. The next day, whatever we had planned got thrown out the window because the schedule changed and we had to go to the Short Circuit House to be on television. Did you know we were going to do that? Was that the day we met and started hanging out?
Yeah. So we were there on the next day.
Okay.
And we went, my dad and I, Kevin, we went knowing that Adam was going to be there. We had become friends with Adam pretty recently because Adam came up to Canada to do some Vancouver filming locations. We reached out to Adam, being a big fan of movies, and we offered him a tour of our movie car collection, and we just hit it off, right? And through that, Goonies Weekend came up in conversation. We said, "Oh yeah, we were thinking about going," and then we decided, a little bit after that, okay, yeah, for sure, we'll go. Bought the tickets to the events and stuff, but my dad and I didn't show up until the next day.
Gotcha.
And we actually saw you before I had met you. You had stopped at Custard King to take a photo of your car in front of Custard King. And we had already eaten at Custard King, and it became this running joke that Robbie Retro, every single time we'd be like, "Where do you want to eat?" Robbie Retro would be like, "What about Custard King?" He loved it. He loved it so much. Every single time he passed it, he'd be like, "Oh, you want to stop at Custard King?" It just became this.
You have to know this guy. I had never met Robbie Retro, but what a character. He's one of my favorite people now. He's an internet character. He's exactly what you would expect out of the internet. Like, wow, you just stepped right off the internet. He's got a look. He's got an affect.
And he's a great cheerleader for everybody.
Yeah. Huge hype man.
Yeah. Total hype man. Robbie Retro's the best.
So I know what you mean about
Instagram,
that. Go ahead.
Yeah, follow Robbie Retro on Instagram because he has an incredible collection of not just like movies, but also like the promotional paraphernalia that goes along with it.
Right.
So he's celebrating Batman Forever right now. And he's got
the anniversary.
all the toys. He has, I think he went to an actual McDonald's and got a tray because he has an original like tray cover advertisement. So it's sitting on a tray. He's in, I think, a McDonald's. So he does really great stuff. So, and he's a super great guy.
When you made the joke about the running joke, that's what my week in Astoria became. It's a series of inside running jokes with people I had never met or ever thought I would know in my lifetime that we hit it off so tightly, like the Goonies. We had our own little geek squad.
Our crew, our little Goonies crew, I kept calling it.
Yeah. And it became so special that like everywhere we went became a core memory, a forever thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was just me because I'm sort of in an emotional spot in my life right now with the things that are going on for me, or if that was everybody. Like, did you?
I think it's everybody because we've all been commenting on each other's posts, messaging each other, texting each other, right? Like it's just, there was something that happened that weekend and it feels different than just like meeting strangers, right? Like I think we really did all bond that weekend very quickly.
When I was a kid, I went to youth group, and you go to those like youth retreats, and it's religion based, of course, but the point was like you'd go on these retreats or whatever, and you'd have the greatest time with these new friends you'd never met from another town, and they'd have the music going, and you're doing all this weird stuff, and you made friends for life, and that's totally what this felt like to me.
Yeah,
like,
I totally
I'm going to
agree.
know you forever, hopefully, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Adam the Woo the same way, Robbie Retro the same way. Justin Scard is one of my favorite people that I've met in the last few years. My only regret was that Nicole couldn't have been here because she would have loved seeing and hanging with this fun crew. It felt like Comic-Con. It felt like when we used to have to go work Comic-Con in the old days, Nicole and me. And you'd be with, kind of the celebrity crew or whatever, but there was also the fan crew and full nerdery in every direction, no matter where you could look. And the walking around downtown. Do you ever do San Diego Comic-Con? Do you know what I mean? The feel?
I've never been to Comic-Con, but I do a lot of conventions with.
It's probably the same.
Before we got into the movie car thing, I was already going to local conventions.
Right.
But yeah, there is a camaraderie. You felt like your people. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this person was there, but Short Circuit Presents says, "Hey bozos," or "Hello bozos."
So again, it's Short Circuit. Yeah. Short Circuit better than I remembered it being. I kind of didn't think it was all that. I don't know. I had a fondness for it in my memory, but I didn't remember what it was really about. It's good. It's good. It's about AI.
I love that.
It's about AI and learning.
Yeah.
It's very poignant right now.
I gotta watch that again.
I'll watch it with you. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Add it to the list. We've got a long queue going. Oh, look at Manuel Carrillo has made it in. So he's not allowed to appear on camera, so he's just in the background. He's under contract with another company. So I'll just leave this shot of me and Mitch up while the still photographer gets some shots. Because he's definitely not in this shot.
I don't exist right now.
Okay, so Brandon, here's what I remember. What I remember of meeting you was that I wasn't supposed to be there. Like I ran into Kip and he said, he kept talking about the Canada guys. Turned out to be you guys. And he said, they're over here at that restaurant you like. It's right next to where we're going. And I said, let's just pop in. So we did. And that's when I remember meeting you. It was the fish place.
The fish place. Okay. You know what's kind of funny about the whole Astoria trip too is not only did we go up and look at the Goonies House several times over the course of the weekend, we also ate at the fish restaurant several times. So it's
like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, so it's like I actually can't differentiate what days are what, not to mention the excitement and the fun that was happening. But because we did the same things in the same locations on different days, it's hard to like, okay, what day was that? But I do remember that. Because that was we went to the arcade that night too.
Yeah, we did a lot, but I can't remember what matters right now or not. Because we were at the Goonies house all day, and then we left. We were at the Goonies house for production stuff all day, and I can't remember what or where, but they had the bikes out, and the car was there, and all that stuff. And the Fratelli's
I think that
Jeep.
was the second day.
Oh, it was?
That was the Friday.
Yeah, that's right, the 5th.
Did I? Oh, then I'm so. You're right.
Maybe you're right.
It was the Friday. No. It was the Friday because they were advertising, "Don't come up to the Goonies house" because they were filming. And we were
so
like,
you weren't there for that?
No. No. I was there.
You didn't miss a
thing.
thing.
We went up. No, we went up on Friday. But so you have to realize that like I went to Goonies Weekend just as a fan. So all of the crazy stuff that we got to do in terms of the documentary and going inside the house, that was the like, what is my life? What is happening to me right now? How am I so lucky to be in this situation?
So that's my memory. My memory is at some point, we were at the Goonies house all day. At some point we left, got some food. I thought we met you guys. And then I thought we all went back to the Goonies house together. But you're right, the days run together. Because we were there. And you and I were together when we did the Truffle Shuffle for Corey Feldman and Carrie Green. We were right there up at the fence where the bikes are because I nudged one of the bikes and it fell over. Mikey's bike fell over. But you caught it before it fell over completely.
I saved the bike.
And then you were holding up the bike, and we couldn't get the bike to stand up again. So
and
you were just calling
away.
out to. I was like, "You touched it." You
tried to make it.
And production's like, "Can you get away from the bikes?" And he's like, "I can't get away from the bike. Will fall if I get away from the bike." So whatever day that was, there was that, and then J.P. Connolly, the production designer of the whole thing, he was being let in the gate. Maybe that was the Truffle Shuffle, but we got to see the Rube Goldberg device work right up front.
And that was just another magical moment because we thought, well, let's go over to the coffee shop, get some coffee, and then see if we can walk up to the house. Because they said on the website for the Goonies Weekend, don't come up to the house on Friday. They were filming. But we were like, let's see how far we can get. Let's go see.
Well, yeah, it's different too because we knew the owners of the house. Like a lot of the stuff for the fans, this sounds like a dick thing, but didn't apply to us because we weren't fans, even though we're fans.
Yeah. Well, and our friend Kip, our friend Kip worked on the house.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, you were in kind of this like, we know Bayman and Kip worked on the house. He works with JP and he obviously knows Bayman. Adam and Justin are well-known vloggers, so they get recognized. And I was kind of just, my dad and I just floating with the crew, right?
At one point, there was a divide of you're allowed past this line, and and certain people aren't allowed past this line. Everybody he just mentioned was allowed past this line. We were all on lists. We were in the iPads. They knew who we were. Like you said, the other guys were recognizable. So, forgive me, but Brandon and Kevin sat kind of on the line. Well, they stood at the line for a while, then they sat sort of on the line, and then they kind of relaxed a little bit over the line, and then just eventually sort of sat in the grass over the line, and then eventually stood in the grass over the line. Eventually, they were just over the line and got to do everything that we got to do.
Yeah. Well, and that invisible line was put up by one of the security guards, and he said to me, I can't let you past here because there's too many people up in the holding area for the eventual tour through the house.
Right.
They were setting through different groups of 5 through the house to see it for the first time, and most of those people were the people like Kip who worked on the project.
Right.
Adam and Justin, they got noticed by one of the leads of the documentary, Gibson, I believe his name was.
Gibson, yeah, they had shot with them previously at another event some other time.
So I knew that I was like okay to be where I was because I was part of that group, which I think you were too, that initial conversation of come back at 3:30 or whatever it was.
Yes, you're 100% right. It turned, I mean, Kip hit me to this TV thing weeks prior. and gave the producers my info. So it turned out I was on the iPad. I was scheduled to be, but I didn't really know all of that. So I sort of just floated with you and everybody else, knowing that like, I know I'm allowed to go anywhere. So let's just enjoy this.
And for me, it was like, I will stand with my friends and I will be with my group. And if somebody comes and says, we can't let you in the house, I say, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
I fully understand. I'm just here to have a fun weekend, but things worked out.
Go ahead.
We did the thing where I came around to you guys after kind of standing on the line for a while, and I was just standing there, and then
I remember I gave you a big hug. I was like, look, you made it. This is what it feels like on this side. It's exactly the same.
One of the production guys came and was like, okay, yeah, we'll get you in your group here. And just at that moment, my dad had returned from dropping Robbie Retro off at the movie theater to go see Goonies.
Wait, this is great. So I forgot all about this. Some of us were over the line, and then some people were waiting it out to see if maybe things would work out and they could, get in or whatever.
Yeah, there was
Robbie Retro.
Was
his move throughout the entire week was to bail too early and then miss out on the experience. And this was the first one of those.
To Robbie's credit,
From being rejected.
so your dad returns alone. And you're where he is.
To Robbie's credit, he went to go and see the movie because that's what he wanted to do. But also, what we didn't know at that point is that they were only letting like groups of 5 into the house. So with Robbie, we would have been 6.
True.
So somebody would not have been allowed in the house.
That's
but
interesting.
because Robbie took it on himself to say, you know what, guys, like if you get in there, that's great. I'm gonna go see the movie. And my dad drove him to the theater to drop him off at the theater. And just as we got that call that like, okay, you guys are in, my dad walks back up the driveway. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's in our group too. And so come on, Dad, come on. Pull him around and boom, there's our group of 5. Justin, Adam, you, Jay, me and my dad.
The reason they were doing that was because the Goonies were a gang of 5, and they wanted you to experience it like the Goonies did.
Like the Goonies. Cool. So, and as soon as they said you guys are a group of 5, we're like, boom, it's the Goonies. Yeah. It makes sense. So it's just like this weird magic over the weekend. So now we're sitting just outside the door. And they tell us like, okay, yeah, you guys are the last group.
We were, yeah, that's right.
Okay. And we're like, we're going to get you in there. So we know, oh my God, like we're going inside the house. I can't believe it. So it finally comes to our time and they're like, do you guys want to go in the back door or the front door? And
they didn't ask us. No, they didn't ask. So Justin the whole time. So Justin, I don't know. Justin, I find him hilarious. Justin Scarred, by the way. He's like, I'm gonna cry. I know I'm gonna cry. He's like, I'm gonna cry when I walk in. And he ended up crying in Mikey's room too. I don't remember how it all happened, but he said I want to go in the front door, and nobody else was doing that. And
yes, you're right. Yes.
And I think somehow we ended up just doing it, but that was the theme for the rest of the walkthrough, was that if they don't tell us not to, we're just going to do whatever, because when else will we get the opportunity? So like we wanted to go in the front door like the movie, so we're the only ones who did that.
Which is just insane to me when I think about it, because we watched everybody else line up in their groups, get staged at the back door, and go in through the back door. And I don't know what route they went at that point.
Right.
If they went through the kitchen or if they went backwards. Did they go backwards maybe?
I assumed they went through the kitchen and went that way, but regardless, you're not going to know how good the job is unless you walk in the way they show you in the movie, so you realize that it's exactly the freaking same. Yeah.
So that moment where we like crossed the fence line and walked up the stairs, it's just like, what is happening? and then I believe Justin opened the door. I think he was the first one in, and oh my goodness, that living room just like hit me so hard. The overwhelming excitement, I need to absorb everything. Actually, when we were hanging out with Kip and his wife Abby, she was like, treat it like your wedding day. Just like
That's
try
good
to
advice.
try to take as much of it in because it's going to go by. So that's what I was thinking about. Just like
And to be clear, in
absorb it
case we
through
didn't
my
mention this,
eyes.
we were not allowed to. No record. This is a top
yeah.
secret thing. No cameras, no nothing. They stripped everybody of everything.
Yeah. So this is pure memory. This
Yep.
is experience. And it took me probably 15 seconds to realize, oh, there's a camera in here filming us
Totally.
going through this house. And
That
it's
team
like,
was
it's
so
like
good.
It's a big rig.
There were a couple people with big rigs, but they
Yeah.
did such a good job of not being in the room that we were in. That there was no time where they were obtrusive. I felt like it was just the five of us going through the house on our own.
Yeah.
Because anytime
And
we
it
said
just-
something, can we do this? Can we do that? And we're like, I don't know. Nobody's saying no, so we just went and did it.
Yeah.
What was the question?
When are they releasing the documentary?
Don't know, but obviously, one, they're going to promote the hell out of it, but two, we'll talk about it too.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much more to this, but go ahead, buddy.
So yeah, where did you go first? Because I spent as much time as I could in that living room. I could not get over my expectations were like they were average. I knew that it was going to be really cool and really good.
Me too.
But the second you see that living room, you go, everything is in here.
So I was expecting like Universal Horror Nights level quality of replication, recreation. Oh, this is totally the thing from the Goonies. But, thematically they nailed it, is what I was expecting. What we walked into was a time machine. It was like Grandma's house. It was like, it's time to change everything. You asked me where I went first. The hardest thing for me, I think I just put my hands on my head and did one of these because 6 months ago when I met Bayman and Liz and spent a bunch of time in that house, it was how it used to be. And this was a crazy idea that Bayman had. He was like, I want to do this and I want to do this and imagine everything exactly like it was when production was here in 1985. And I was like, yeah, it sounds great.
Had they not changed any of the walls yet when you
Correct.
were there?
Correct.
Wow.
Everything
6
was exactly
months.
as it was when he bought it. Wow. And they didn't touch it for another few months. But anyway, so he had these great grand designs, and he's like, and it'll all be done for the 40th anniversary. I was like, that's amazing. When's that? He's like, June. I was like, June what year? He's like, this June.
Crazy.
It's not possible.
Well, and
production,
and I
like
believe
the permits, I would have said production-wise, I would have said it's not possible.
And he owned the house for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While he was getting his ducks in a row for this. I think this was
Yeah,
the plan the
yeah.
whole time. He's a wonderful evil genius. Anyway, so I spent some time just kind of going, I can't believe that wall's different. There used to be not a door there. Now there's a door there. There's a lot of that. There was a lot of walls moved to put it back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
I think the first thing I really, really remember, though, was at some point we kind of noticed, the front door was gone when I was there last. And the front door that Mouth comes in the movie.
Oh, yeah, that little hallway.
Not the one that Data comes through. That's actually the side door, but the front door to the house. And so once we realized where Bram was like, oh, it's Mouth, nobody went to the front door. And I did the same thing again. I was like, well, if nobody's telling us not to, I'm going to go out and I'm going to come in the front door. So I think that's like the first thing I really remember doing that was different than you guys. Other than that, we were all just this, that.
Yeah.
Oh, they got that. Oh, they got that. Everything was exact.
I remember right after that, they were like, does someone want to do chin-ups on Brand's bar?
Yeah,
And both
who did
Justin
it
and I
first?
were like, no, Justin did it first.
But
He did one chin-up, and I was like, I got you beat, buddy. And I did 3. I did 3 chin-ups on Brand's bar.
you could have kept going.
The excitement and the adrenaline had me pumping. I could have done
think-
50.
Production only needed the 2, but it was nice to have the 3rd for safety.
then we-
people don't really understand. Like, you want to know what it looks like. Go watch the movie. That's what I keep telling people.
100%.
It's almost like what could photos do other than
Yeah.
like go watch the movie.
Well, and I think that brings me.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one of the thing that like I keep thinking about is because we couldn't take photos or videos, I have nothing to look back and like reference it, right? So I just can't stop thinking about it because all I have is my memory, and I don't want to forget it.
So I've been keep associating this entire experience with my childhood. It feels like it brought me back to my childhood. Felt like visiting my childhood. Everything you just said might be the why. I've been struggling to figure out the why, and I think that you may be right. It put the fact that we can't just look at our pictures from the thing. That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
You had to remember the experience. That's why experiences were so great. That's why going to the ball game with your dad or the fair with whatever the thing was so great. It's why you bought the program and the whatever, so you could remember. But we've lost all that now that you can look up anything at any time.
Take 100,000 photos, right?
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about video is that when you watch a video, it actually replaces your memory, which is fucked. When you look at a photo, your brain will fill in the blanks of what's not there, so it's not exactly replacing the memory. But when you watch video, it's actually replacing the memory. So that's an interesting little tidbit as you're exploring this idea of not being able to look for things or look at things.
Wild. Let's see, there's a bunch of stuff here. Jason Muse, I'm so jealous. I was supposed to tour the inside of the house, and the production company forgot to contact me.
Oh,
I did can you see the rest of that?
no, I can't.
Oh, it's
I
Facebook.
can't see comments on Facebook.
Mari Rebecca. Oh, it was nice to meet you. But I don't think I'm saying your name right. Mari? Mary? Jason Music, because it's epic. I signed the release too, but mine is so embarrassing. I was willing to try anything. That's funny. These are other fans that were out there at the same time.
We didn't even really talk about that real quick. We actually did the Truffle Shuffle for Corey Feldman at the house.
In the exact spot where Chunk was, right at the gate.
And people kept asking, like, did you really do it? And I was like, hell yeah, of course I did it. Of course I'm gonna lift my shirt and shake my belly for Corey Feldman at the
I did it
Goonies
too.
House.
And Kerry Green, by the way.
Yeah, and Kerry Green.
I did it too, but I will say that afterwards, Justin Scard once again showed me what he did, and then I was a little jealous. I go, that's the move for the victory. He had two shirts. So he lifted one shirt and then did it with the other shirt.
That's not how you get in, okay? That's not how you get in.
Oh, good for you. I agree. He cheated. That really does suck. You got screwed that way. Jason, this does suck, but do you live up there? Oh, man. I feel like we should be able to work that out on a special occasion basis. You're a good guy.
Well, and
Edward on YouTube that says it's amazing that these caretakers maintain these homes for fans.
Yeah, I agree. In this case, it's something special because you can't do anything with this house. Like, he made the house totally and completely unusable. The house I visited last time could have at least been an Airbnb. It's currently like a hot set. You can't touch anything.
And things are glued down, like bed sheets and blankets are glued or taped in a specific way.
It's interesting. I didn't know that's how they did it.
Yes. And it's obviously to match the way Mikey's blankets are thrown on his bed.
I noticed that it matched.
Exactly.
I didn't know that they starched them in place or something. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, JP was talking about it. There are certain things that are glued and locked in their configuration.
I mean, it's a museum.
What it is totally a museum now. It's kind of exceptional. What was when you were walking around the house and we were together for most of it? And this is, by the way, the first time we walked through the house. This is ridiculous. This is like a two-parter. We're gonna have to speed this up. What was there anything that hit you more than the rest? Something stick out at you?
I think the living room has a really special moment because there was a moment where I was kind of at the back side of the living room looking through the windows, front windows, and there's the porch. And I just remember imagining that shot of Brand dragging Mikey across the porch. It's one of my favorite moments in the movie because it just 100%. Really shows their love and their brotherly love and connection.
Yeah.
And I just I have goosebumps right now.
I did too. That's hilarious. About it. That's so weird.
And just standing in the living room with my peripheral just encased with Goonies Walsh living room and imagining that scene happening. Like and then right after that, I turn around and I'm looking at Adam, and we're just like having this moment of like, where are we? Like this is so much better than we thought it could even possibly be.
100%.
Jason said, I was going to add that Jason said he found Mrs. Walsh's English-Spanish dictionary for JP, and he glued it in the bedroom.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh, great.
So there's a lot of things in the movie. When we're walking through the house, you know, you're in person, so you can see the details. And we didn't have this movie in 4K like we do today when we grew up. But walking around the house, I'm seeing things that I didn't remember from the movie. Everything that you remember from the movie is there. Take that out of the... Stop asking that question. They nailed it. I was really surprised when there were things that I noticed in person that was like, they did such a good job other places. I wonder if that's there or if they created it. And then you go look in the movie and it's there. They just had a better eye for detail than we did. For me, one of the things is when Brand's working out in the beginning, he's got the machine and there's actually a card and a bow on the top saying, "Happy birthday, son," or "For you, son," or something like
Happy
that.
birthday,
It was
son,
a gift from his parents.
I never saw that either. That was the first time I realized. And when I got back from Astoria, what's the first thing I did? Was rewatch Goonies again, right? Yeah. And I was like, how did I miss that? You know, another one actually, and it's so obvious.
I know what you're going to say.
Coconuts.
Yes!
Coconuts hanging on Mikey's wall.
So was it, you do?
Yeah.
Was it the coconuts you didn't remember or what the coconuts were specifically?
It was the existence of coconuts.
Right. Okay.
It's just, I've never focused on it.
I also don't think I knew they were coconuts, but what struck me in person was that they were coconuts dressed up like pirates. Like one had an eye patch on.
Oh,
It's
yes.
foreshadowing.
Yes.
Really awesome. And the skull was already in the room too, with a skull light on the post. Super cool. There's a picture of Andy in Brand's room by his desk that you never see in the movie, but they're like, that makes sense, and they put it in.
Well, and in the movie, his bookcase at the very back wall is out of focus, but you can see that there's a baseball in a little trophy baseball case. So they included that, but they put an Easter egg, and the baseball is signed Baby Ruth.
No way.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And stuff like that is like so cool. So not only are they matching it exactly, but because you can't make out exactly what's on his bookshelf, you can just see, okay, it's a baseball, and then they get to have fun with hiding those little Easter eggs in it.
Absolutely.
Or even Mikey's room, there was a dresser behind his door, which you never see in the movie, but they continued the wallpaper around, they continued the posters. He's got all these world posters in his room. And then they put more toys. Yeah. And on his dresser that you never see in the movie, on the fourth wall, as they called it in the project, there's toys and cassette tapes and just stuff that fits in the world of Mikey's room and in the world of the Walsh house. All the stuff that you didn't get to see. And
So cool.
It like fully encompasses you, and it's just everywhere you look. There is not a untouched section of that entire house.
When we got to Mikey's room, Justin started crying again. Like it was real. It was crazy. It was a very strange. You talked about being in a room and downstairs and looking out the window. I had that in Mikey's room because right outside his, the bed is against the wall and the windows, and right outside the windows is the telescope that you see from the outside.
Yes.
And something about, you're right about, it's like the scene with the brother where they're holding on to each other, and that scene where Mikey's looking out into the distance knowing that life's about to change.
Yeah.
The family can't afford their home anymore. They all have to move. They're being foreclosed on. The kids don't even understand these problems. These are parent problems. But somehow the kid, you see the weight of it on the kid. This little kid is 10 years old or whatever. And that weight hit me when I got to that. I must have been standing wherever the camera was for that shot in that scene. And I got emotional too while I'm making fun of him for being emotional in this room. Oh, baseball glove. Oh, real. Oh, don't school. Geez.
I Googled Mikey's bedroom because I'm like, like, oh, I just want to get a reminder.
Yeah.
The first photo that comes up is literally Mikey like this looking out the window
Right.
of the telescope.
Yeah.
That's the first photo that pops up. And as you're sharing that, I was like, wait, I'm literally looking at that right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason this movie stuck with the generation. I don't think it's because of sloth or pirates or even the adventure of it all. I mean, there's something to be said about the kids solving their parents' problems.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been able to do that. I mean, I'm a child of divorce and multiple other issues. I can't even imagine if I was able to, like, somehow magically go on an adventure and solve my parents' problems.
Well, the reality that the kids do take on the parents' problems, and parents adults like to pretend like kids aren't taking on or taking in what's going on, but they absolutely are. They're so much smarter than we think they are.
Oh, every time,
They're always taking on whatever problems the parents are having.
Yeah.
They know.
Oh gosh. So all of this, and then so whatever. Okay, we got to move on. We and then I'm trying to think.
We
So
should talk about the attic.
Yeah. Oh God, the attic.
Oh,
The attic was amazing.
So
and
the-
apparently, not everyone got to go up in the attic.
No,
They all got to
that's what I
look.
was going to talk about.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
You do it.
So I was just going to say, so with the Goonies house, they shot almost everything you see in the house inside that actual home in Astoria. The living room, the kitchen, Mikey Brand's room, Mrs. Walsh's room. That's all actually shot in the house.
Full
The
practical
one-
location.
Yeah. The one sequence that's not shot in the house is the attic. The house actually has the set of like the ladder that comes down to go to the attic space.
Right.
But when the kids go up into the attic, it becomes a set.
Right. Shot
so-
a couple blocks from here over at Warner Brothers.
Yes. But when they took on the project, they decided, well, we need to replicate the attic in some way. It's an important part of that house and the story.
Do you I mean, for me, it was the fact that it's all of that, but also there's enough. They replicated the idea of what the real attic is in the movie, so there really is
just
thank you so
bigger.
much. There really is a chimney going up the center. There really are skylights. So there was enough there that they were able to tap into.
Yes, just a little bit smaller, but all five of us, more pizza.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm listening.
So all five of us climbed that ladder and got into the attic,
Oh.
which was so cool, very cramped. But
Yeah.
it was the five Goonies in the attic, and we were just obsessing. Oh, there's the copper pot,
Chester
paper,
copper pot. Yep.
The
broken map was on the floor.
That frame, the painting with where Mouth sticks his tongue through.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
I saw Brand's book, which is actually one of the things I pulled because I found this in Astoria that weekend. This is the book that Brand is reading in the attic.
I love that you got that. It's showing
and
like
I
the pirates having a battle and stuff, right?
I had the page marked earlier, but
There are things
It's in
that I saw things in person that I didn't remember from the movie, and then when I went back and checked, it was like, sure enough, they're there. I didn't remember the Cigar Store Indian from the attic. It's right there, right next to a suit of armor, as it was when we went.
I didn't even remember there's like a Zoltar machine, like a fortune teller machine.
It was a
in the
fortune
attic.
teller. Grandmother knows your fortune.
Yeah, and there's one in the attic, right? Like it's.
Oh, go ahead. Question about the attic, if you can hear Ariel.
Wonder Monkey.
Yeah.
Were there any sexual torture devices in the attic? AKA, any fun kinky stuff up there? Everything can be kinky if you believe.
They had the plasma ball.
That's obviously a joke to Mouth in the movie, saying, Mr. Walsh keeps
Yeah.
his sexual torture devices up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure talking to Ariel, anything could be used as a sexual
Yeah.
device.
Yeah, we didn't check Mrs. Walsh's drawer for drugs. We didn't get to that point.
But it was there. The chest of
in there.
drawers was there in Mrs.
Yeah.
Walsh's room. Mrs. Walsh's
Yeah.
room. All right, this is all just day one, buddy. We were there for a week. This is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
I know, and as you alluded to, we found out after the fact that not everybody got to go up there.
Wow.
They let us go up there, and all five of us crammed in that room.
I also found out
filmed
that
it.
another reason we were the last one was that they let us have a little more time in the house. Didn't it seem like we were up there for a while? We were apparently up there for a while. So that's part of it. I don't remember what else did anything else interesting happen that day? Otherwise, we should move on because so much else happened.
No, I mean, and that was the big day, let's say. That was the day where I know for me, I went to Astoria not thinking I was going to get to see the inside of that house, because the next night was the fundraising party. And the tickets were very expensive, especially being a Canadian having to pay U.S. prices for a ticket. So it's even more expensive for us Canadians. So my dad and I did not buy these fundraising tickets for this private VIP party where they told you get to see inside the house. So I obviously I was on cloud 9, just like, I can't believe I got to see this incredible amount of work that Bayman and Liz and JP and Kip and Damon, all the people that we met, like, they worked on for months, years, and I'm like, I couldn't believe that I got to experience it.
I forgot about Damon. Shout out to Damon. Damon Crow is a prop maker who used to work with Sean Bishop, our buddy Sean Bishop, over at DreamWorks, and he built the Rube Goldberg device that opens the gate in the beginning for the Truffle Shuffle. And it was really cool to meet him because somebody said, "Hey, do you know Sean Bishop?" And I said, "Yes, I do." Wait, was it you? Is that how I met Damon? Somebody brought Damon over to me. Was it you?
I don't think so, but we did bond over knowing Sean Bishop.
Well, so he goes, he goes, "Oh my God," whatever. The guy knew me because he worked with Sean when we built the movie cars. So every single week he's bringing new pictures in. Look what we did, look what we did. And he's like, "I've seen thousands of pictures of you. It's so great to meet you. It's awesome." And meanwhile, I'm there to look at his work.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That guy was awesome. Shout out to Damon.
Yeah. And getting to see that Rube Goldberg machine work was pretty cool.
Absolutely. And we weren't allowed to show that either. There's a lot of stuff we weren't allowed to show because it'll be in the show.
Yeah, they're saving it all for the docuseries.
Yeah. It makes sense.
So yeah. So that was the end of that first night, and obviously we were just like beside ourselves with excitement, and like, it was unbelievable. And the next day
here's what I know. We went to Video Horizons a lot. We went there every single day. We went to the Fish House every day. Oh, nice shirt. Shout out to Neil at Video Horizons. All your VHS and laserdisc needs in the Astoria, greater Astoria area. Super nice guy. That's also where I got this shirt. The Astoria Bridge shirt.
That shirt.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah, I
This is
didn't know
really
that
what the bridge looks like.
The bridge went all the way across the arm. That's hilarious.
Wow.
That's why I like the design so much, because the real bridge is shaped like that.
Yeah.
It's all one side.
Well, and this one's funny because it says, "We're all video hoes.
Yeah,
It matters where you get it." And he was telling us it's because at one point the neon sign burnt out where it's written white.
Yeah.
And then people were calling it video hose. So he made these shirts.
You know you've been around a long time.
I mean, I clapped that immediately, and I love that. Also,
But yeah, so
Daryl
we
said that he went up in the attic too.
Daryl did? Daryl's a nice guy too. I got to meet him.
But he said that he got to go up there. Yeah.
I'm very glad. So the next day.
Well, I know the next day we left to do some filming locations down in Ecola Park and Cannon Beach.
But also at some point we all regrouped for panels.
Yes.
And we ended up going to the VIP party.
Yes. So that was Saturday. And we must have reconvened in the afternoon then.
Okay.
Because we went to the panel, and another cool thing that happened at the panel is we chose a random row, and then our numbers got changed, and you got booted, unfortunately, because I was saving seats, and then somebody at the other end, I won't name names. Dad,
Oh, you won't name names?
moved over.
Name names. I'm curious.
It was my dad.
Oh, hilarious. That's hilarious.
He moved over because Adam and Justin got moved to the front.
Right.
By
So
Gibson again.
Right. I was going to say, shout out to Adam the Woo. I wouldn't have even been there except that he had an extra ticket to said, go ahead and come to this thing. So I did end up coming. But I went to the bathroom at the time when Gibson brought he and Justin down to the front row.
Yeah.
And I came back, and not only did I not get brought down to the front row with those guys, but
you
then I
lost your
lost the
seat
seat
in our
I had
row.
in the second to last row with everybody else because they didn't save it. Which worked out because I ended up then hanging with the production crew for the documentary on the back wall.
Well,
and the new iPhone is so good that you can zoom. So it worked out great. Also, I
And
get
it
claustrophobic, so I liked being able to move about freely.
And
So
it
it
just
worked
so
out great,
happened
in
that
my opinion.
the row in front of us is where Bayman and Liz sat for the panel.
Owners of the
And then
Goonies House and
Owners
Adam.
of
Go ahead.
and yeah, exactly. Bayman and Liz, owners of the Goonie House, and then Adam Goldberg, the
Adam F.
producer
Goldberg.
from Adam F. Goldberg, from the Goldbergs, and produces so many great documentaries and Muppet Mayhem, which is a show I love.
Oh yeah, I worked on that show.
You did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was one of my shows.
He uses the F as a big punch because there's a actor, Adam Goldberg, that you also probably know from other things that I've worked with as well. Different guy. But Adam F. Goldberg, yeah, the Goldbergs, I mean, is sort of the standard when you talk about nostalgic 80s television. He did an episode on everything we loved from the 80s, from
Yeah.
Goonies, Nightmare on Elm Street, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, all of it.
Well, and he produces so much stuff that I was like, man, I just saw your name somewhere, but I couldn't remember what it was. And it was like the day or so before I rewatched the David Lynch Art Life documentary, and that's what it was. He's a producer on that documentary.
Come on.
Yeah. So I was like he's everywhere. He's got his fingers in all sorts of nerd pots.
Oh, that's so great. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I went to talk to him mainly because, I mean, you know, he's part of this Goonies House project.
Yes.
He's a partner in the I don't know if he's a partner in the house, but he's definitely a partner in the TV show.
Well, from what I understand is he was the one who kind of championed the docuseries part of it.
Yeah, I think so. He's
Yeah.
got no, Life After Goonies, although we did meet them as well, Lisa Downs and her husband, and they were there
Another
shooting as
documentary
well,
that's
a
being-
different
yeah.
documentary at the same time that we were all part of as well. Thank you for bringing that up. But no, ironically, this is a different one. I think it's going to be called Saving the Goondogs or something like that. But there's no
Yeah,
official title yet.
There's no official title at this point. But what I was going to say is, at this point, we had the 80s market that morning. That's where you found your jacket. That
Oh,
was
you
Saturday
tell the story. I'm going to get it.
Okay, so they had this 80s market at the Astoria Armory, which is kind of the Goonies headquarters, and it was kind of vendor tables. You know, there was like local fudge makers. They
Fudge makers.
Makers, come on.
they had some posters and stuff, but then there was one booth kind of in the middle that was like vintage wear, just random T-shirts, vintage, shoes.
And can I do the preamble since that's what I do? Also, I figured this out when I just walked away. I arrived on a Wednesday, so we skipped a day in there somehow. I think we were hanging out on a
That's why our
Thursday. Then there
timelines
was
are
the
messed
Friday. Okay, so that's why we're missing a day, and it's all
Yes.
hodgepodge. One of the cool things of how the entire community got involved in this Goonies thing was that the actual Astoria Police Department, the official police department, put out these Goonies-specific shoulder patches that not only was a collectible for fans, it was official for the town where every single municipal outfit, police uniform wore them.
That's a thing that cops do. They'll go town by town.
So you know that, exactly. And they'll bring one, they'll trade them out, absolutely. So in this
Yeah.
case, it was a very real saving the Goondocks since 1985 or something like that, protecting the Goondocks. And it was really, really cool. And because, I always wear the NYPD jacket, I got to get two of these patches. I'm going to iron them on a windbreaker, and I got myself a Goonies. And I'd been trying to, okay, so then the first night I arrived, that Wednesday night, we figure out, my lovely host, Rich, at the Short Circuit House, gifts me one of these patches. And I was like, that's the coolest. I only need to find one, because I told him my idea of the one on each shoulder. So he goes downstairs and he gets the other one. He gives me two. He goes, okay, well, here you go. You've got two. So then the rest of the week became trying to find a windbreaker, the right cop kind of windbreaker, not just a windbreaker. So we're going to Army and Navy stores, surplus stores, uniform supply places like that. Couldn't find anything anywhere. Now, the morning of, like you just said.
So I turn the corner, and there's Jay, and he's got this green jacket with like a fur collar, and he looks at me and he goes,
Sexy. My new
goes,
look.
"This looks like
My wife's dead. I
looks
bought this jacket."
He's like, "This looks like the Goonies, the sheriff's jacket at the end of the movie, right?" And
Well, I was going to you because you're an expert when it comes to screen accuracy. So
And I went, I think so. And that day we were doing the filming locations, and I realized that I can use my my VPN on my phone to get to Canada, where in Canada on a thing called Crave, which is what we have in Canada where our HBO shows go. On Crave, Goonies is on there. So I can stream through my VPN. I can stream Goonies in Astoria, and I was like,
at the
let's find
Armory
out.
building, the 100-year-old Armory building, where
Yeah.
we're shopping at a flea market.
So I have my phone out, and I'm streaming Goonies, and I'm going to the end, and I'm pausing it, and like that jacket you got is like exact. It's like
So-
the right shade of green, has a big enough collar.
Yeah. I went back and checked too. It's so freaking close. It's so freaking close.
so
But
close.
so everything's used. Everything's cheap. It was listed for $65, and it's not a store. This is a secondhand shit. So there's only one of them, and I think it's going to be too expensive, and it's not going to be the right size. It was listed at $65. Price was right, and I put it on, and it fit perfectly.
Wow.
And the guy whose little shop it was said, just so you know, that's a starting price. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So he sees me with it on, and he goes, all right, so it says 65. How's 50? And I was like,
Perfect.
done. I want it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's gonna look
It looks
great on-
so good.
Wow.
Now, you have to know the movie to get the reference of why this guy's wearing this jacket. But literally, I'm looking, just me in this jacket, it only looks like the Goonies.
Yeah.
Or maybe
it's the
sheriff
right
from
green.
Rambo.
Yeah.
Brian Dennehy. A little bit of
Yeah.
that. The same kind.
Which is
But isn't that funny?
Rambo, to interrupt, Rambo was shot up here about 40 minutes from where I live in Hope, BC.
No. So
Yep.
I could wear this up there too and just change out the patches.
Yep.
Isn't that awesome? Plus, I got a nice warm coat to wear here in LA.
I was so excited for you.
Hey, that's gonna come in handy up the mountain. So.
Yeah. But the fact that it's used, it's vintage, it's period, and then shout out to Kip, Let's Run Some Red Lights wife, Abby, who sewed the patches on, because I tried a couple different passes with the iron, and they would last for about an hour, and then they'd fall off. So
that's
she
great.
stitched it
I
on
didn't know
there, and
she
it's pretty
sewed them
awesome.
By the way, Daryl said the series is gonna be called Our Time, as far as I know.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And he
Our
doesn't
Time.
have-
Maybe Our Time is a potential title for this series.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we're all over the place, but yeah, that was the Saturday morning, the market, and I believe isn't that when we went to Video Horizons? That was Saturday.
Yeah, now that we have an extra day, yeah.
And we were hanging around. We were gonna go pick up one of the tiki mugs, but they weren't open. The tiki bar wasn't open yet, so we were kind of just milling around until I guess Adam needed to leave to go to his VIP party. Was that?
I don't know. All I remember is that we all went to the VIP party. We had some of us had to wait a little bit until the area cleared, and they wanted the public gone. And once they wanted this VIP party happened at the Goonies House, in the yard and the driveway and inside the Goonies House. And they were trying to. It was a $2,500 ticket, and the money went towards the new Oregon Film Museum, which is being built.
Yeah.
It's like a $10 million project.
100%. 100%.
Very,
of the
very
ticket.
right. 100% of the proceeds went. So it's a really good cause. It just was an expensive ticket, and apparently the public who knew about this very expensive ticket, were all just kind of convening in the driveway until they were asked to leave. Once they were asked to leave, they said, except for you 5 guys, you can come up here. And so now we were there too. They already knew us. They already knew us from the rest of the week and the TV show and going through the house and Bayman and Liz.
Exactly.
And
And
on
again, we were standing with Kip, who worked on the house.
That helps.
Right? And Kip was like, we were just told just to come later after the party's sort of done.
Right.
And
By the way,
kinda
Robbie
just-
Retro once again bailed early, didn't get it.
Yes, but yeah. What can you say?
That's his move.
So yeah, we sort of hung around outside the fence again, and I personally, I was like, I'm not actually supposed to be at this party, so I'm just here to hang out. I didn't have any of the food. I didn't have any of the drinks. I didn't take a coin. Like all of that stuff, I was like, that's for the people who purchased their ticket and made their donation.
That's for Willie. Leave that one for Willie.
Exactly. So we were kind of just hanging out in a circle outside the fence, and then at some point, it really had died down. And
I was gonna say we were in the fence. We were in the front yard.
Well,
we were there with Feldman and Davi and everybody.
We walked in to the fence.
Okay.
And we were watching. There were some more speeches that they were doing. They were
toasts,
honoring
a lot of toasts.
Yeah, they were honoring Richard Donner.
That was cool. Hip hop. Yeah, Robert Davi. He was great.
And then we were standing on the side of the house. You and I were just talking.
Oh, this is the best. Once again, yeah, go ahead.
And again, it was like, I'm not going to take up the time of somebody who paid for the ticket to walk through the house. I got the opportunity to do it. So if somebody hasn't got to do it yet that paid the money, that's for them.
Right.
That's their time.
Our time.
Seamless. That was seamless.
But then,
you worked that in seamlessly.
But then a volunteer walked by and said, "Are you guys lined up for the house?"
So once again, I'll back it up just because I fill in all the blanks. On my first day there, we were over at Astoria Coffee Roasters. It's my favorite coffee company in Astoria. There are a bunch of little coffee companies. They're all good. This one's my favorite. It also happens to be a filming location from the Goonies. It was
deleted scenes.
Deleted scene for the most part, except you do see it when Rosalita's trying to cross the crosswalk and the cops are going back and forth. Anyway, it's right at the bottom of the hill from the Goonies house. So I'm in there with Kip. Maybe just Kip, I can't remember. And he recognizes the guy in front of us in line, not from anything Goonies related. He goes, "Oh, hey, man." He literally, like, squirrel, left my conversation and straight over to, started talking to this guy who I didn't know. Guy had a son, introduced myself, shook their hands. They were both very nice. Afterwards, I found out, oh, that guy is in a band called
Plain White Tees.
Plain White Tees. And they sing that song that you would know
Hey There,
called Delilah. Delilah. Of course I know that song. Of course I know the band. And I said, oh, that's so nice to meet that guy. And his son was so cool. Great. Well, they were there for the Goonies. So we ran into them a couple times a day, every day. So this is 5 days in a row now. I've run into them 7 or 8 times. And now they are the last. This guy whose name is escaping me right now. Tom. I want to say his name is Tom. He and his son are going to be the last group in until Brandon and I walk up. Well, now we're the last ones in again.
Well, the volunteer asked, "Are you guys in line for the house?"
She said, "Do you want to go see the house?" And we said, "Yes, of course.
both
We're
said
waiting."
Yes, simultaneously.
Emphatically, yes.
So then we walked up the stairs and we waited in line with the singer from Plain White Tees and his son.
Tom, it is Tom. We confirmed Tom.
Is it Tom? Okay,
Yeah.
So we waited in line with Tom and his son, and we're standing there, we're waiting. The reason it's taking quite a long time. We probably waited 25 minutes?
I would say maybe a half hour.
Yeah.
The guy came with the bin for the shoes and the cell phones.
So
good luck with that with me, buddy. He didn't get my shoes or my cell phone.
Well, and the first day we walked through, we didn't have to leave our cell phones. They just trusted us not to take photos or videos. And
yes, but I think they were for other people. I think they were taking stuff from other people. I think because we were that last group through, they sort of, and they,
And also, you know everybody.
The guy even said, remember when they were just about to let us in, they said, "I don't need to give you a pat down or anything, do you?" And we're like, "No, we're good. We're good."
Yeah. Well, I took my shoes off because I wanted up in Canada, we don't wear shoes in our home.
Yeah.
So
I had another plan.
I want to feel the carpet on my toesies, right?
Yeah.
I want to walk in like I would in
By the
my
way,
home.
it was beautiful blonde hardwood floors when I was there 6 months ago. They put in this ratty 80. It looks like the carpet's been there for 30 years.
Carpet. Yeah, it's perfect. But I wanted to feel it on my feet, so I happily gave up my shoes. Well, and now that they've taken our shoes and our phones, we're like, okay, we're about to go in. Well, at that point, we probably waited another 10 minutes.
20, yeah.
From that point. And
well, because at some point, didn't Kip join us?
That's what I was going to, yes. So I see Kip and Abby out there, and we're only 4, and we know that we're allowed 5.
Oh,
so I'm
right.
like, Kip, come on. And all weekend, Kip has been telling me about all the things that he worked on and found for the house. And
he already likes the plain white tees guy. He's the one who saw him in the first place.
So then I see Kip talking to Abby, basically being like, hey, I'm gonna go do this tour, so I don't know exactly how long I'll be. And he boop, 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 runs up and he joins us. And now I get to walk through the house with Kip, who gets to tell me the stories of finding things and identifying things. So it was just
and we had already taken the pressure off. So we're going in having already seen it. So this is a bonus. Whatever happens here is like extra.
Story time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best.
And then we finally get in the house, and Liz is in the house with, I imagine that was her family, because there was a couple
friends and family. Yes.
Okay. And I only met her at the panel, but she gave me a big hug, and it was just really nice. It was a warm home for friends and family. Like it really does feel that way. And we got to walk through it again.
No cameras this time, so we got to just explore.
Yeah. And Kip is telling us about all the things that he worked on and the things that they had to make or they ended up finding. In the Goonies, there is these little glass bulbs that have like little spinning metal, and they're like radiometers.
Oh, yeah, radiometer. Looks like a light bulb, but it's got a little black and white thing that spins in the sun.
Yes. And Kip was actually, I believe, the one to identify those and asked JP, how many of them do you have in the house? And they went through and they're like, oh, there's a whole bunch of them in the house.
It's like 7 or 8, right?
Yeah. They located them now that they were looking for them, found them, put them in their house. And JP tells a story. I'm sure it's in the documentary or somewhere, but he met with the son of the would have been like the production designer for Goonies, who sadly had passed away.
Right.
And when JP brought up these radiometers to the production designer's son, I believe that is it Rivia, Mark Rivia? That's I can't really remember. I'm blanking on it right now. But the son was like, my dad loved these radiometers and would hide them in all of his films that he would.
Oh, that's funny. So it was an Easter egg for him personally.
Yes. So
I grew up just having one on the windowsill, so that's why I knew what it was.
Yeah, but the fact that Kip and JP and the Goonies House team had put that level of detail in there, the son was just beside himself with excitement for that.
We got to multitask here because we are so late. But Astoria Coffee Roasters, chocolate covered espresso beans. They got a little gray from the heat in the car on the way home, but those are delicious. If anybody wants those, this was a book they were selling in the lobby when we were at those panels. 3 weeks with the Goonies on location in Astoria, Oregon, by Mick Alderman, and then the guy was there and signed it for us. 2J Ryan, Never Say Die. Pretty cool. And looking forward to flipping through that.
At the panel, Corey Feldman told the story of how they were shooting in '84 around Halloween, and they went down to a local hall in Astoria, and they signed autographs for all the people in Astoria, all the Goonies kids. And I believe it's Rhonda is the author of that book's aunt. She was there and got all the signatures, and she had them on display at the cast and crew on that other table. Wow. She had all her little autographs from Jeff Cohen and Kiwi Kwan and Corey Feldman. It was an incredible weekend.
Not enough light. It was worth the shot.
It's
too much.
Yeah,
not used to any of this new shit.
It will live with me forever.
There you go.
This guy, photo by Mario Boschman. I don't know who this guy was, but he saw me at this thing. He said, "Oh, you were up there at the house. Oh, you're something." And you go, "Oh, I'm giving these to people." So shout out to him. All right, let's see. This was an Astoria paper from that day, but specifically I got it because the police patches were on the cover.
Oh, cool.
So there's that. Got a fresh Goonies. Every time I go to the film museum, you got to get a new Goonies shirt. So this is sort of a Goonies athletic department kind of deal.
Yeah, I got.
Can't leave Astoria without getting a Baby Ruth.
Of course.
The patches, the jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Didn't see it there. This was the official 40th anniversary Goonies hat, which is very cool. Kind of looked, to me, similar to, is it Richard Donner or Spielberg? One of those guys is wearing a hat like similar to this in the...
If you're talking, it's Donner wears the head Goonie hat.
That's it. And then a sticker for the fridge with the short circuit house on it.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
There you go. And the bridge. Exactly.
Can I show off one more thing?
Please start showing off some stuff. Yes.
Well, this is the thing that my dad started to do. He bought this shirt at the Armory.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And so this, we just started getting everybody on the Goonies crew to sign it. So where's Jay right here?
Mine is horrible, hard to read, very hard to read.
They're all horrible because it's Sharpie on a cloth. But it was
Tried
so
to do
cool.
live it
We
while
had-
you got it, and it's just not room.
At that panel is where we met Bayman and Liz and Adam F. Goldberg, and so we got them to sign it. Tommy Youngblood signed below them. Tommy built all the Goonies bikes at the house. Robbie Retro's on here. J.P. Connolly, I bumped into him at the Armory, so it was cool to get him to sign it. Jack Johnson, the illustrator from the original production. Mike, who we were bumping into throughout the weekend.
Havoc legend, Mike Christopher,
Yes,
yeah.
Mike Christopher, yeah. Corey
Jason Music
Feldman
says, I'm going to cry now. I should have just come and crashed the VIP party. Mick is great. Hung out a ton with him at an after-hours spot. This is great. You guys are hilarious. That's Mario Boschman's photo. Exactly. Good job. Man, I tell you, Daryl Boggs is on the case over here.
So weird. You see more. I can't see all that on Facebook.
I'm gonna find the page real quick in this
Yeah.
parents book because
So, Adam F. Goldberg, I introduced myself because Nicole used to have people on his show, The Goldbergs, and she just knew everybody, so I figured that they might know each other, so I introduced myself. And while he didn't know, oh, there you go, here, perfect.
so yeah, this
Do you
is
remember that when Brand is looking through the book
This
in the
is one of
attic?
the-
That's
one of the
one of the
pages.
pages.
Yeah.
and then the other page is just a few back. There it is. So this is the other page he looks at.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
wild.
he flips to those two pages in this Pirates of the Spanish Main American Heritage Junior Library.
That you bought at a secondhand bookstore in Astoria?
Yeah, in Astoria.
While we were
Now,
there.
it
It's
was
the prop
in their
from the
Goonies-
attic, and it was there.
It was in their Goonies case, but it was only $45. And I was like, you know what? That is a really good price. This is something that, easily could have been marked up crazy being in Astoria.
Yeah.
And
If somebody knew what that was
would've
and
paid
was sold as a Goonies book, it would have been $300.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was
Yeah.
in their Goonies case, but they're a reputable antique store. Like they weren't gouging anybody.
Wow.
And they had two copies, and then they had a clean one, and they had a more dirty aged one, and I chose the more dirty aged one.
I would have too. Good job.
But this is cool. I love props. Props are always my favorite things in movies. It's the thing I've become obsessed with. So
Totally.
to find stuff that's the same thing that they used in the movie, always
Can
the
we-
coolest.
I should just, for the sake of one of the things we figured out while Brandon and I were hanging out up there together was that Brandon and his dad, Kevin, own the first Ecto that Sean and I built.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Small world.
What?
Yeah, we only built two. One's at Universal Studios Florida, and the first one we built is there.
Holy shit.
Sean sold it to some friends of his that were also Ghostbuster guys, and they sold it, I guess, at auction, and Brandon and his dad bought it.
Wow.
Yep, it's up,
Isn't that
up
cool?
in Canada now.
That is very cool. And you just happened to meet at Goonies.
Yeah, correct. And on the last road trip is when we found out where the Miller Meteor went, that it was at Universal. So every time on a road trip, we tracked down an ecto.
You know,
Pretty cool.
This trip really was magic. Like we're not making it up, and it really does feel that way. With
Honestly,
the exciting
listening to
things
this
that
back,
happened,
it sounds
the
like two
bonding.
idiots trying to relive like some great moment. But I was there, and I agree with you. I totally agree with you. It felt different.
I can't stop talking about it because it really did feel special. It feels like a big moment in my life.
Why? I agree with you. I thought it was because of what I was going through personally. What was it for you?
I think it just culminates in everything that I love. Movies, big projects that are hyper detail focused. I had a great weekend with my dad.
Huge.
I got to hang out with some friends that I knew and then meet more like-minded people that just understand why it's okay to be excited to be at a filming location. Like we were talking about it, Justin, Adam, Robbie, and I, that it's nice to be at the location of the Fratelli's hideout with a group of people that just all get why it's exciting and are all giddy at, oh yeah, that's the rock. That rock matches up to the coastline. This is exactly where they pulled their bikes up, right? It's nice to be around your people.
It's a safe space. It felt like the entire city was a safe space. I agree with that. There wasn't one person going, come on, we got dinner reservations. Stop looking at that rock.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to go to the Goonies house again?
Right.
Come
6 times this trip. What's the 7th going to do for you?
I mean, there's nothing better than
We might get inside again.
that are nerding out on the same shit that you're nerding out, and you're all at the same level of nerd, and you're all at the same level of excitement. There's something really special there.
It keeps the perpetual motion machine spinning. Yeah, big
it
time.
gives you, like,
Also,
safe
what is the point of life otherwise? I'm trying to figure that out lately with the loss of my wife and other things. Like, this was an amazing, good, positive experience for me. There haven't been that many lately. So, like, I thought it was that. It seems like maybe it's bigger. Maybe it's an energetical, a tonal thing. I would have said generational, except that you and I are not even in the same generation. So,
energetic.
yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I just keep describing it as magic. Like there was something happening in Astoria that weekend outside of us.
So when are you coming down here? Because Adam Goldberg and I are friends now, and I'm going over to his. We're gonna work on stuff together. Like I love him. He's the best. Just like you guys, like fast friends that will probably stay connected for a long time.
Yeah, we didn't even really talk about how much time we spent with him, and just like.
That's why that one day it erased. I couldn't find it because there was one day where I met Adam Goldberg, and then for the next 3 or 4 hours, I was just talking to Adam Goldberg.
Yeah. Can I quickly share one more great memory that I had?
Please.
So
No,
after the second time we went through the house, do you remember you split off from me? You went to go talk to Liz, I believe.
Yes. Go ahead. I know where you're going, and
my story is really quick.
Take your time.
I left the house and I didn't really. There was like hardly anybody there. There was like maybe.
We went through the whole house and we're up at the top. And the thing is, they created this secondary exit because it's now like a museum. So you have to we went in one side, you got to come out the other side. So that's where they had the phones and the shoes and all of that stuff for you to do. But when we were upstairs, because we had sort of had free run of the place, the lady was like, all right, we're going to go down this way. And I go, no, I don't think I am. I still have my shoes and stuff. I'm going to go down in the front and I'm going to say goodbye to Liz. So you guys all went down the back staircase to leave. I went down the front staircase to say goodbye to Liz, I thought, and I ended up just hanging out in the Goonies house with her, the kids, their friend Deepak, and all of the friends and family for a while. And then we're walking around the house and we're doing other things, and it just felt like we freaking lived there. It was very strange.
Crazy.
And when I went outside, I thought everybody was gone, so I left.
Yeah.
You were not gone. Where were you?
Nope. I went and got my shoes out the back door. I saw that there was hardly anybody around. I didn't see Adam. I didn't even see my dad. I walked past the front of the house, not on the porch, but down on the gravel, and I saw Justin sitting up on the bench on the front porch.
Yep.
And I went, I'm gonna go sit with Justin, and I'll text my dad. I'll figure out where he is. So I go up there, and Justin is just sitting on the Richard Donner bench, and that bench is in the movie. You can see the movie, so they put a bench there, and so Justin and I are just sitting there, and again, just having another moment of like, look at where we're sitting, look at this view, this incredible few days we've had. And then Adam F. Goldberg comes out, and we just start talking Muppets. So here I am talking Muppets with Adam F. Goldberg, who just made Muppets Mayhem, is giving me some inside information. He's talking about where things are, and I'm like, this is my nerd dream. Talking the Muppets on the Goonies porch. You can't imagine that type of stuff with someone like Adam F. Goldberg.
Because you think that you know everything about whatever the subject is as a nerd or whatever.
Yes.
You don't when you talk to Adam Goldberg. He knows way more about everything.
Well, a man who has been in the industry for so long, and then he drops this bombshell that he's like, yeah, and then when I wrote Muppets Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, wait a second, you wrote Muppets Wizard? He's like, yeah. And I was like, man, Tarantino is in that. He's like, yeah, that was my idea. I wanted Tarantino in it. And I'm like,
oh my God.
It's stuff like that I'm just like, I have no words. I have no words for what I experienced and what I got to be a part of. And it's just like memory after memory after memory. And they keep just coming back in these chunks.
Ah, nice. See what you did there.
Nice.
Ruth.
So yeah, it just, and then my dad came back, and I think you had just left.
I came out and I said, did Adam the Woo leave? Whatever. They said, yeah, he's gone. And I said, oh, okay. And I in my mind, that meant, the whole group is gone. So I walked down the street, and keep in mind, yellow car kind of has VIP parking everywhere it goes, but let alone at
we were laughing
Astoria.
at you.
So like, I'm right at the bottom of the driveway.
Time.
That's how yellow car is.
Yeah.
We just always get VIP parking. I can't explain it. Like Rockstar parking, not VIP.
Yeah.
Everything that could go right for me that weekend did. I was always in the right place at the right time. That is exactly how we felt. Exactly, Jason. Funny story, Robert Davi chewed my bubble gum. That's a weird one. You were so blessed with good luck except for the whole sloth impersonation thing. Okay. Well, I don't know what that one is. Daryl Boggs, it's all good. I won't let it dampen the amazing weekend I had. Exactly. I think that seems to be the theme. I mean, nothing goes exactly how you plan it ever, right? So you kind of just have to go with the flow. And if you have got a good attitude about it and, positive vibes, I think that things tend to work out.
And I think we ended up leaving at the same time because it was 11 o'clock almost exactly, because right at the very end, Adam F. Goldberg was like, it's 11 o'clock, I gotta go. And that's when Justin and I were like, okay, yeah, I think it is time to go.
He was supposed to fly out in the morning. He came over to the Short Circuit House at 7:30.
I had to drive back to Canada that night.
Yeah, you were supposed to leave. We said goodbye to you a bunch throughout the day. And we're like, when are you leaving? I don't know. When are you leaving? I don't know. When are you leaving? I don't know. When are you leaving? And it got later and later and later. Wait, were you driving?
No. So the Sunday, I had a gig with the Ghostbusters car.
That's
with
right.
The Ecto.
Yes.
And we already had it in the plan. The car was already preloaded in our trailer. We had a hired driver because Dad wasn't going to go to the gig.
Right.
So I had everything ready to go. So I was going to sleep in the truck and Dad would drive back home. That's why we could leave so late. And
Gotcha.
It's only 5.5 hours for us.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, bright and early the next morning, I was in Canada doing a children's fair event with the Ghostbusters of BC.
Well, you were gone. All I remember is the next day we woke up and a few of our, the Goonies had disbanded. Our little group had broken up. And while some of us were still there, the clique just, it wasn't the same. And I know that morning we started with a car show. I went with Rich, the Short Circuit House owner, into town. We were going to get some coffee or whatever. Stumbled upon the car show. They invited us to park the car and stay for the car show. We did. Robert Davi was there with the Jeep, Bayman, and some other stuff. That was when we said goodbye to Justin. He was then leaving right after that.
Yeah.
I think he was driving, and he was just going to take his time going down the coast. Sometime after that, we went to the jail, the county jail, where they reenacted, for the purposes of this docuseries, the jailbreak scene. And that was pretty cool because while it was supposed to be secret, the public clearly knew about it. They, anybody who, go ahead.
With that Fratelli's Jeep.
Oh, Troy and Mama Fratelli's Jeep. Yeah, good point.
Which we didn't talk about.
Go ahead. Amazing job by Troy.
Incredible job. And I loved hearing him talk about the accuracy of his Jeep because it's exactly how I talk about the accuracy of our projects. It was just
screen accurate. 84 Cherokee, 5-speed manual, aftermarket pop-up sunroof.
Yes, that was the big thing. I was like, this
not pop-up, aftermarket retractable.
Yes,
sunroof.
But I was like, the little details of him explaining the ribs and how factory sunroofs don't have the ribs, and and his bullet holes looked good. That was the other thing. They
were some of the best I'd seen.
Yeah.
Great credit to him. So there was a lot of PR with him and the Jeep, and then they were using it for some stuff for this documentary. I can't say exactly what they did, but a lot of stuff from the movie that you would recognize that they were replicating.
I've seen footage from that, but was that you? Was that on yours?
Well, yes. I posted as much as I was allowed to post, and maybe even a little more than I'm supposed to, because I wanted to go through this with everybody. I wanted to share as much behind the scenes as we could.
Well, I saw a shot through a window, which I assume was probably the house that Mouth was in. Okay.
I mean, I guess.
That was cool.
Maybe.
It was
you might be
window.
Right. Anything's possible. Yeah. That was the next day, though. So the beginning was just the city, but then on Monday, yes. So we're this sun's going down on Sunday, and every single day the production guys are like, so we think they're going to be wrapped, and we're all going to go home, and they keep saying, so tomorrow we're going to do blah blah blah. You're going to stick around? I was like, wait, what? I thought we were leaving yesterday. No. And then they kept adding days. So this went from Friday shoot to a Saturday shoot to then a Sunday shoot, and now we're talking Monday. He's like, you hanging around? Come on, Monday we're going to shoot whatever. And he told me what they were going to shoot. And I was like, oh, gosh, all right, maybe on the way out of town. All right, okay, whatever. So I figured it out. So Monday, yes, I did exactly that. I went to their set location that day where they were doing more stuff, more shooting with the Jeep and the police, Astoria police. And that was my last official stop. I said goodbye to Bayman there. I said goodbye to Daryl and a few other of the fans that had sort of collected just to watch the filming. And then on the way out of town, I stopped by the Goonies House to go see Liz, to say goodbye, and to pull Yellow Car up to the Goonies House so that we could get some photos when it wasn't so crowded and crazy. Isn't that great? So that's that picture. The blonde girl there is Liz. That's Bayman's wife. She's the
Mrs. Walsh.
Good call. Yeah, nice job. Yeah, Mrs. Walsh, very, very good. She's dressed like Andy there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's how he introduced them at the panel, Mr. and Mrs. Walsh.
Oh, I love that.
He introduced himself. Yeah,
I love that.
Bayman and his wife. Yeah.
And then and there was a little bit of stuff going on there because Lisa Downs was shooting more of the life after the Goonies documentary, but that was it. It probably struck noon or maybe 1 o'clock, and then I started to drive home, and that was the end of that crazy weekend. I wasn't in the car for more than an hour or so before I felt the need to do like a video. What do they call those on the Real World? Vlog. Well, that's what it ends up being.
Like a talking head, like a.
Yeah, confessional is what they called it on the Real World.
Confessional, yeah.
And it was basically I posted it for everybody, but it was my thoughts on, I don't understand why this meant so much to me. Obviously, I'm going through something, so I'm emotional, and
I made one too.
Yeah,
and
you did, right?
I thought it was gonna be quick, and then I looked at my phone, and I was like, 9 minutes. I talked for 9 minutes. I was like, I was trying to make it quick.
So like this show, right? Exactly, 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, one of the things I will mention is part of the reason we knew that the documentary crew was supposed to be done on the Friday was because we got interviewed after we walked through the house for the first time.
Yes, we did.
And that's when they told us, like, yeah, this is our last day. And now I'm finding out they're still filming on Monday. So it wasn't their last day.
Right. They just kept adding. And I think things kept falling into place for them as well. So they kept adding things like, they got cooperation from people or, locations and things like that. So they just kept doing it. It makes more sense to stay an extra day or two in Astoria than to bring an entire crew back to Astoria.
Exactly. And this is the finale of the docuseries, right?
Right. Yeah.
However many episodes it is, the culmination of all of the work leading up to the Goonies 40th, celebrating,
Yes.
showing, and experiencing the house. So
this is what we're
have
here to see.
Exactly. It's the climax of whatever this project is.
Man. Did I get to all of the? I think we got the comments stuff right here.
Yeah, because I was going to call out.
So that was kind of interesting because when we were doing after we walked through the house on that first production day, they pulled us over to another area on the cliff where they were shooting all these the interviews, and they asked Justin and Adam to go together because they have a rapport and they're friends, and this guy knew that, Gibson, and then they separated. I thought you and I would go together. Oh, they went together, and then you and I would go together, but they separated us, and I got a little nervous when I said, well, we can do it together. He's like, well, do you know each other? And I was like, well, I mean, we just met, but I mean, we can do this. And he goes, well, the producers want you alone. To me.
Yeah.
And I was like, so it's easier to cut? Like what? What? Easier to yank it right out of there?
Well, I thought I was going to get cut right then and there. No
so we both
interview
had the
for me.
same thought. We both had the same thought.
I didn't even think I was going to get interviewed. I'm just a guy from Canada who likes movie cars. I'm just a guy.
I don't know what it was, but they really, we all said something different. I think we were all talking about it so much together that by the time they started recording, everybody started saying on video what we already talked about. So by the time it got to our turn, it felt like elementary school. Like, well, he took mine, she took mine. And so then it was very raw and original, but it went a different way than I would have thought it would. Mine got surprise emotional. You remember me last time I was on the show, I was crying my eyes out with you at home.
Yeah.
So much to change the whole room around.
I did. Tornado in here. Yeah. I don't know. That was a crazy experience. I can't wait to see what is included if we did make the cut. I have a feeling we probably did because they made it seem like they went through some effort to kind of make things work. I don't think that would have happened unless they wanted it to.
Yeah, and I don't know who exactly got to go through the house that first day, those separate groups, but it seemed like a lot of people that had worked on the project or were connected to the project, and for some reason it kind of felt like we were this like fan group. That we were just the lucky ones that were kind of on the outside of the project, but love the film.
Correct.
And we just kind of filled this like little fan void.
Correct.
That maybe they had, and that's why they kind of let us react and spend so much time in the house, and then did the interview.
When Kip first explained it to me, he said, "Oh, so they're doing this thing," and they said, and they want some regular people's impressions,
Reactions.
Yeah. And I was like, well, regular people. Well, they're like fans, regular. They just want a subsect of people to whatever. And he's like, would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, are you kidding me? Anything to be involved. So maybe that's it. Maybe we actually, they might have gotten more out of our little group than they thought they were. They were just getting some generics, and we all knew our shit.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great to relive it with you. I wish you were closer. I wish you were here so we could like give you a hug and just so you could have some pizza.
Yeah.
I'll have a slice for you.
Yeah, save me a slice.
Yeah, we bounced all around, so this is going to be hard to keep up with. But anybody who really wants to do the deep dives on Goonies Weekend, just watch this whole episode. Anything that I skipped? Anything we should hit before we pseudo wrap it up?
Yeah, I think I think we're both sort of kind of just like reeling and just still processing. Like it's a monumental weekend. It really was.
I can't wait to go back. It really, there's an energy to the place that had nothing to do with this Goonies reunion.
That the first time.
Correct.
You were
Thank you.
You already couldn't wait to go back.
That's why I'm saying that.
Level of it. Yeah.
Yes. So Otto Kennel, he was our last guest. He's in Germany right now with his dad doing a beautiful trip. If you recall, he's got bone cancer. That came in as an official scary term after we did that episode. It was just a scary thing he was going through at the time. Bone cancer, hate to use that word. So he's going to have a very significant surgery when he comes back from Germany. And then when he recovers from that, we're going to get in our cars and drive up to Astoria.
Hell yeah.
A hip isn't as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
Susie was bouncing around with a new hip 3 days after she had hers installed.
Still can't believe that.
3 days, on the third day, she was out. And she drove there. So I have complete confidence that Otto Kennel's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But, buddy, we're thinking about you. We love you. All of us, everybody in this room and all the viewers at home. We all love you. And then after that, I'm going to go back again to Astoria on USA Grand Tour 3 in October.
Yeah.
So I'm like lining up visits to Astoria. Somehow it still doesn't seem enough. Like I feel like, no, I got to move there. Like maybe I can't figure out what's going on.
Jason says, are we going back next year or waiting for the 45th? I don't want to wait 5 years.
I'm not waiting.
Sounds like Jay's not.
No, I'm not waiting, and neither are some of my friends. I know my buddy Brandon will come down for the 41st.
Yeah.
I'd go
Oh,
now.
100% I'll be there.
Still hasn't hit me. Have had several people that want to meet up again next year or sooner. Do you get down here often? Did you answer that question?
I mean, I go to Disneyland quite a bit. I'm a big Disney fan.
Well, that's close.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
When's your next Disney visit? I want you here in studio, and I want to take you over to Adam's office, Adam F. Goldberg's office, because he wants to show me his toy collection, but I won't understand it, so I need somebody to...
I think, well, we have a family trip in
Yeah.
August is our plan. At the end
August,
of
okay.
August.
That's my birthday.
Great.
I don't even know if we got the chance to talk about this while we were together, but do you know that one of the cars that we own is the actual screen-used Mirthmobile from the first Wayne's World movie?
I do, only because it's parked right next door to the screen-used
Yes,
car
the-
from the Back to the Future
Okay,
at
yeah,
the
that's what I
Peterson.
was going to say. Yeah, so our car's at the Peterson right now.
Right, and we both have had significant contributions in both of those worlds, so that's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Yeah, no, just crazy happenstances, circumstances.
You've seen Wayne's World?
Yeah.
It's a gremlin? Is it a gremlin?
Pacer.
Pacer.
Oh,
AMC.
Pacer
Same maker, AMC.
AMC, right. And then, I mean, just for the sake of impressing people right before we leave, just list a couple of other movie cars you've got. They've got 100 cars total, but...
Yeah, we have about 100 cars in our collection. About 60 of them are movie cars. So we have a time machine, but we also have the Marty truck, Biff's 46 Ford. We even built a replica of Biff's automotive detailing truck, the little yellow truck.
Was it a Toyota? What was that?
Well, it's either a Mazda or a Ford.
Ah, you Canadians
But
have
you can't
Mazdas.
tell because the tailgate is down and you can't see the headlights.
Right.
So we made ours out of a little Ford.
Right.
But yeah, we've got Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, which we talked about.
Of course.
Christine, RoboCop. and then
RoboCop,
we've got-
like a Taurus police car?
Yes, a Ford Taurus police car, all matte black with the same light bar that I tracked down, the exact same boat spotlight that he has on the roof,
Dude.
with a shifter bezel
Right
that
on.
is like the underneath the light. And then we got bikes. Spent 2.5 years building a replica of Pee-wee's bike from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I watched the
from Napoleon
documentary, by the
Dynamite.
way, as soon as I got back. Loved it.
Oh yeah, the
What did
Pee-wee-
you think?
Pee-wee as himself.
Really?
I really want to see it.
Yeah. We'll cut to Mitch here. What'd you think, Mitch? Two thumbs up.
2 thumbs up from Mitch.
Very good.
It's just emotional. I mean, I don't think you need to love Paul Rubens to get the humanity of the story. If you do love Paul Rubens, then it's really gonna affect you.
Paul Rubens is one of my favorite human beings on the face of the earth.
Yeah, me too.
I love Pee-wee so much. Like I could get emotional talking about Paul.
Yeah.
I never actually got the chance to meet him. I don't know him other than through Pee-wee, but Pee-wee's Big Adventure is like so deep in my heart.
Yeah.
That documentary was very emotional for me. And yeah, the night it came out, I sat and watched all 4 hours of it in one sitting, just because it's like
That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what once I put it on, I thought I would do one at a time, but once you put it on, it's so enthralling.
Yes. So good.
Shout out to HBO doesn't do this very often, but they did it with this one. And shout out, they made it available for purchase on Apple.
Oh, wow.
It's a huge gripe of mine when something I can't watch isn't available to buy it on Apple or whatever. I understand why they don't.
I want a
but this
physical
one
release
was,
of
and
it
I
is
bought
what
it.
I
And I'm
want.
so happy. What's that?
Yeah, I want a physical release of it. I want it on my wall.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
By the way, Kip says, love you, dudes.
Oh, love you too, Kip. So I mean, you know,
Kip.
if I didn't know Kip, none of this would have been possible, because when I was driving through Astoria last time, I thought I would just take a couple pictures. I've told this story a million times. I thought I would just take a couple pictures at these movie locations and leave town. But no, Kip, who knew me from the DeLorean and Ghostbuster days, said, no. You're going to stay here. We're going to get some coffee. I'm going to say hello. I live here now. You're not coming through without me saying hello and meeting you. So
Yeah, Kip and Abby are the best.
Well, but that's what happened. So I said, all right, well, if you want, but I'm at the Oregon Film Museum now. I'm at the jail now, and I don't think I'm going to be here long. And he was like, 20 minutes. And I'm talking to Dave for 20 minutes, and sure enough, Kip shows up. So Dave is technically the first person I met, Oregonian Dave. Shout out. He's now like the honorary mayor of Astoria, because he cosplays Chunk for the Goonies, but he also works at and represents the Oregon Film Museum, which is the jail. So Kip, then I meet Dave. They both know Rich. Then we're going over to the Short Circuit House, hanging out with Rich. He knows Bayman and Liz. They all know Bayman and Liz. Now we're meeting Bayman and Liz, and then they know the mayor of this and the thing of that. And before the end of I'm leaving with the key to the city, and I thought I would just get a couple photographs. It seemed like telling that story in Astoria last week, a dozen different people had their version of the same exact story of, I didn't plan to, blah, blah, blah. It got under my skin, and now I'm thinking of moving here.
Yeah.
Is that
In the chat.
really?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like 10 years, when my littles are. I think Daryl was saying that when my littles get bigger, and then Jason said, "Yeah, if I can find property for the horses, I might convince my wife."
Wow, where was I for that? Must have been eating pizza.
No,
It's delicious.
that's just happening now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I missed it all. Dave Knight is the greatest. He gave me a private tour of the jail, including upstairs. Super, super cool. Super cool. Okay, well, I think we should probably think about wrapping this up. But I have to tell you, Brandon,
Yeah.
I love you, and I want you to be back on this show anytime. We don't need to talk about Goonies. We can talk about movie cars or anything,
Yeah, we
really.
didn't get into any of that stuff.
That's how the weekend went. That's how this
I
whole
know.
thing went.
I know. Crazy.
Everything's a by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's
It's just a book where every chapter is entitled Squirrel.
Yeah. No,
Anyway, but I love you. I think you're great. Your dad was great. You're one of my favorite unexpected things that happened during this Goonies trip for me personally. So thank you.
I really appreciate that. I really had a great time with you, and I love you too, and I love Kip, and it feels really special to like meet people, especially late in life, that you really connect with.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. So, okay, so we're all adults. It's hard to make friends as an adult.
Yep.
And then you get to a place where it's safe and we're all into the same things, like you said, so everybody's being their true self. But then we all made friends and we're all staying in contact. I know this seems like, why am I...
No.
Is it the simplicity of that? Just that as an adult, those moments don't happen?
That, and you need to couple over the nostalgia of it all as well, because that taps into a different side of ourselves. And so when you're connecting over the nostalgia,
Yes.
there's
some
this
emotional
added layer of intimacy right there.
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
everything else that's added on top of that.
No, you're right about that. The safe space of it all.
Yeah.
So I touched on that in my video Brandon, when I was driving back, I was like, what is it about Astoria? Is it just that it is the town from the Goonies? So that is, nostalgic and comfortable to me as a kid. And the fact that the town looks exactly the same. Is it that, or is it the place, even if Goonies wasn't shot there?
No, it's layers. I think it's all of it.
Well, I know, I'm not asking Brandon, sorry.
Well,
everybody's
there
welcome
has
to answer.
There has to be something special about Astoria, because why would they pick Astoria to film the Goonies?
Well, I found out on this trip, apparently Richard Donner was driving down the coast and needed a place to, or Spielberg or Donner was driving down the coast, with this movie in mind, and said, this is our town.
Yeah.
Was driving through Astoria and said, this is it. This is the town. It couldn't be more perfect than this.
There's something about it then.
Okay. It is incredibly good looking from an art director standpoint. It is incredibly photogenic.
Yeah, the way the houses kind of just go up the hill, and they're all of a certain era, that structure or that style of home.
Yeah, like half Victorian. They're not quite Victorians.
Yeah.
Like even Rich's house, the Short Circuit house, they had to dress that up to make it look like a Victorian for the movie. They added bay windows and little gazebo-looking pieces, ornate stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I could go on for days. All right, so I don't know what's going on next week. I'm thrilled we're back today. I don't have a blue card, but I will be back next week. We'll be back next week. Maybe Brandon will be back next week. We'll see what happens. Let's get your dad in here. Let's have a whole time.
Yeah, he's a little camera shy, but maybe we'll work on him.
Well, but you're not, so it's perfect. So
that's
be great.
why I do all this stuff.
Major thanks to Mitch, who brought the pizza and came and hung out for the first time. Yeah?
Yeah. Can I say hello to my dad real quick?
Yeah.
Of course.
Hi, Dad. Love you.
Aw. You're going through some shit right now, too.
There's more.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not going to make you cry on camera, too. That's my job. All right. We love everybody at home. Please love one another. Be back next week with another show and a new setup. We'll go over the new setup next week. How's that? We'll look around in here, spend some time. We'll turn your microphone back on. It'll be good. All right.
I'll just project from now on.
Shouldn't be a problem. Love everybody. See you later.
Bye.
Oh, okay, cool. Brandon, don't go anywhere. Stand by.
You got it.
Group photo right now. We'll do it right now.
Really? Go ahead. Let him on.
We haven't figured this out yet. Wave, Brandon. Thank you.